Most people use Google Chrome. It's the most popular browser and it's the one that basically everyone installs by default. However, it's also popular for its extremely bad privacy. As we can see here in this article, it ranked the second worst in terms of privacy, with only ChatGPT Atlas being first. In addition to that, recently Google Chrome also installed a 4GB AI model on your device without your consent. And when you go to remove this AI model, it just silently downloads it again. So clearly Google Chrome doesn't really care about your choice or how you want to use your browser. It tells you what to do and you just accept it. This is where Zen browser comes in. It's a Firefox-based browser and it's completely open source and is privacy focused and has a number of modern features that users actually care about. And as it says here, they care about your experience and not your data. And you can truly feel that when you use the browser. If I just scroll down, you can see how it looks. I mean, it looks great on Mac. It looks sleek and modern and professional. Productivity at its best, and I would agree with this. Its use of seamless workspaces, compact mode, split view is extremely useful. For example, in Firefox at the moment, you can only split 2 tabs, whereas in Zen, I can split up to 4. And the main thing here is that it's free and open source. So let's get into installing Zen browser. Now it's available on macOS, Linux and Windows. So it's as simple as clicking the download button. So I'm on Linux, so if I click download, it will give me a tar.xz file, which I don't really need. However, I think the easiest way to do that is simply download it by FlatHub. And you just click on this arrow here, you click this, and you go to your terminal and paste it in. Now, this is a command for people who are using CachyOS or on Arch-based distributions. This is a Arch user repository package, which means it's submitted by users and are not in the official packages. So if I were you, I would just go with the FlatHub version. So I've got Zen browser installed. I have 2 versions here. This is the AUR version, so I'm going to use that. And this is just from my firewall, so you can ignore it. So it says make Zen your default browser. I'll just hit not now. Obviously, if you want to use Zen browser as your default, go ahead and click set as default browser. Now immediately it will take you to the changelog. Because this is an open source software, you can see all the different modifications, adaptations or fixes that the creator has put in. So at the moment we're on version 1.201b. Now Zen browser is still in beta. It's not actually on a stable release. So if you're looking for something that's completely stable and completely bug-free, then it might not be the browser for you. However, in my experience, I really haven't experienced anything massively breaking or something where I cannot use the browser. When I have used the browser, it's felt extremely stable and it doesn't feel like it's beta software. Now this is the default layout that Zen browser will use, and I think this is probably the best layout. It might be a little bit jarring for people who come from a traditional layout such as this with the tabs on top and the links there. However, in Zen browser it is quite easy to get used to and it's quite intuitive when you start using it, and it becomes quite seamless. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take you through the settings. So if you click on this part here and you click on settings, should be taken to this page. Now Firefox has done some things with overhauling the whole look of the browser, and the settings is definitely one of them, and I think it looks much more modern and sleek. I won't go through every single setting here, however I'll go through some of the main things and the main things that differentiate Zen from other browsers like Google Chrome. And because this is based on Firefox, most of the settings will be the same. However, there are some differentiations which you will be able to see and which I will show you. For example, one of the things we have here are container tabs. Now this is available in Firefox because this browser is based on Firefox. However, I think the way Zen implements it is much better and much more seamless. Container tabs basically allow you to contain specific websites into their own parts, so they're not talking with other websites. This makes it very good for privacy conscious people. So if I go ahead and click in settings, You can see here there are a number of container tabs. Now you can set these up however you like. However, I'm just going to stick with the defaults just so it's easy for you to understand. You can also add a new container here. There is a setting here to select a container for each new tab. However, I don't think that's necessary and that can become quite tedious. However, one thing I can show you is where you set up workspaces with certain containers. And what this means is when you're using a specific workspace, it will use a specific container. Which means if you're in the shopping workspace, it will use a shopping container. When you go back to your browsing or personal workspace, those websites will not interact with those of your personal ones. This is a fantastic way to segregate your workspace. So by clicking in settings, you can personalize it however you want. The downside is there aren't that many icons, so if you want to do something a little bit more specific or niche, you're probably not going to find it here in terms of the icons. However, I think this is more than okay. Heading over to the look and feel tab, this is where Zen differentiates itself. As you can see here, we have this layout, but by clicking on them you can change your layout however you want. So this is what we're using at the moment, which is called only sidebar. This is where your search bar and your sidebar are all in one. You can do something a little bit more traditional with the sidebar on the top there, or you can have a collapsed sidebar. So it looks like this, which saves screen real estate. However, I'll show you a way which implements the only sidebar, but also hides it when you're not using it. So when you're browsing websites, you get the most amount of screen real estate. Glance also is a pretty cool feature here. So if you press Alt and then click on a link, it will briefly pop up and show you it, and then you can close it out. So instead of just putting it into a new tab where you have to switch to it, it just lets you glance as it says. I think this is pretty cool. You can also change the URL bar and change how it behaves depending on what you want to do with it. So when you're typing, you can set it to only floating, always floating, or normal. Again, you can change this however you want and play with it. Tab management is where workspaces come in, and I think this is the major selling point of Zen browser. One thing I would suggest ticking off here is switch to workspace where container is set as default when opening container tabs. So for example, if you have a link and it's a shopping link but you're on the browsing workspace, if you right click it and click on open in container, it will then transition you to the workspace in which that container is set for. This is extremely useful and saves a lot of time. And pin tabs are also extremely useful. You can pin tabs for all workspaces, or you can enable container specific essentials, which means when you're on a specific workspace, you will only see those pin tabs on that workspace. Personally, I prefer the global essentials because it just makes it easier. Now, these pin tabs can also have a container, so they can load in a specific container like browsing or personal, just for example. I will show you these in more detail, but I'm just going over it for the moment. Keyboard shortcuts, you can set whatever you want. Typically, I have keyboard shortcuts for switching to workspace. For example, I have Alt +1, Alt +2, Alt +3 and Alt +4 to switch to each of my workspaces. Again, this makes it extremely seamless to switch. There are split view keyboard shortcuts, however I just like to use the right click menu. Another amazing feature of Zen browser is Zen mods. So if we visit the store, we can download specific modifications that ameliorate our user experience. One of the main modifications that I would consider using is colored container tab. This is extremely helpful when you're using containers, as it tells you which container you're actually using via the color. So all you have to do is click install mod and it's installed. At the moment I don't have any container set up, so it doesn't show the colors. However, I will show you in due time. You can have a look and play around and see what you like and see what you don't like. This is extremely cool because you don't even have to refresh the browser. It just loads and unloads. Let's get into creating a workspace. So you want to click the plus icon here and it says create space. Once you do that, you give your space a name. You can also give it an icon. And here's where spaces become extremely helpful. If you click on this default button, you will see you can assign a specific container to a specific workspace. So I'm just going to click on personal for now. You can also edit the theme however you want. You can change the colors. Zen browser is extremely customizable. I'm going to leave it on this nice purple color here. Once you've created your space, hit create space. And now we are in the browsing space. So if I open up a website, it should load in the personal container tab. As you can see here, using our modification, we have the color of the container, which is personal, and I'm on the browsing tab. Now all you need to do if you want to use another container is simply create another workspace and create the container within it. So if I create space, I'm going to set the banking container. Now I can seamlessly switch between the two. As you can see here, I have PayPal loaded and it's clearly within the banking container. If I go back to my browsing, if I go back to test, this is in the personal container. So these two containers can't see each other. They don't interact with each other. They are contained. This is a fantastic way to segregate your activity. And one way to save screen real estate is by enabling compact mode. So if you right click on this empty space, hit enable compact mode. Now your sidebar should vanish. However, if you hover over to the left, it will come back. This gives you so much space when you're on a website. And if you wanted to go to another container or space, you just click this and there you are, you're in another space. You can see quickly how Zen is very seamless and works very fast and very well. Here the URL bar is here. If you wanted to enlarge this, all you have to do is disable compact mode and then change it to your liking. And then re-enable compact mode. And there you go, space has changed. I forgot to mention that Zen browser does come with the default privacy settings for Firefox. So you can set here advanced settings and you can click strict for enhanced tracking protection if that's something that you like. Now let's go over pinned essentials. Let's say I want to pin GitHub and have it across all of my workspaces. So what you need to do is you need to go on the website, and what you can do is you can drag it upwards and hit add to essentials. As you can see, it gets big here. Now when we switch space, it doesn't actually carry over. This is because we didn't enable it within the settings. If you like this behavior, you can just leave it as it is. However, I prefer to be able to access my essentials within different spaces. And in order to do this, it's quite simple. Head over to the settings and just type in essentials within the search bar. And then you just want to uncheck this box. Now I have to restart Zen to enable the feature, so I'll do that now. Now when I change spaces, GitHub comes along with me. When I click it, as you can see here, it's within the personal container. So even though I'm within the banking workspace, because I've set it up within a personal container, it's loaded within that container. This makes it again extremely seamless and easy to use. In order to showcase Zen browser's split feature, I'll do it here. So I have 3 tabs selected. All you need to do is press each tab with a shift and it should select 3 of them, or 4, however many you have. All you need to do is then right click one of them and click join 3-4 tabs. And as you can see here, it splits the tabs. Now you can change this formation however you want. So by dragging the tab, you can move it. You can also enlarge the tab, like that. If you hover then to the left hand side to the sidebar, because I've enlarged it, it's gone from split view. However, if I click it here, these 2 tabs are now in split view. And simply by right clicking it and clicking add to split view, I'm able to split these 3 tabs, again with any formation that I desire. This is extremely helpful, especially if you've got a big monitor. And again, Firefox only allows you to split 2 tabs. So that was a look at Zen browser. So next time when you want to browse the internet, how about you try Zen? It might make your internet browsing experience just that little calmer.